welcome back to the Old England Ore Model Railway. In this video we'll be reviewing the Hornby Class 29. This locomotive was purchased by me at Lord and Butler for a price of $34.95. I believe it's got to be about possibly 6 years ago. But a quick heads up, if you notice, I haven't pronounced some of the place names properly in the history segment. I tried my best. Sadly, I couldn't pronounce some of them properly, so apologies in advance. But for now, it's time to take this locomotive out of the box and see what it looks like up close and personal. Here we are at the turntable with the Hornby Class 29. Bit of a quick heads up on the numbers of this locomotive. This locomotive actually was never rebuilt into a Class 29. This is actually a Class 21. But Hornby, in their infinite knowledge, I believe, decided to have it rebuilt into a Class 29. To my knowledge, there's hardly any differences between them, apart from the engine. But still, it's a bit of laziness from Hornby. But at the time when this model was built, I could sort of understand, and it does look quite interesting in its BR green. Now we'll get a little bit closer so we can enjoy what details this locomotive has to offer. Here we are up close and personal with the Hornby Class 29. Even if I did discover that this locomotive, with its numbers, it was never rebuilt into a Class 29, but still, it's interesting. Despite the fact that this locomotive is over 46 years old, sadly it's older than its class that it was modelled after. But the details on its locomotive are still quite good, despite the age. You got the running number, the yellow, beautifully applied. The route indicator does have a little bit of a notch just below the 9, but when it's going around you don't really see it as much. The white around the windows, metal on the on the handrails. We do have a bit of cab detail. The roof, the vents, all here. British Railway insignia. The bogies on its locomotive. It is quite an interesting looking model. There's not much detail to this, but this is about 46 years old, as I said. And for the time, it is quite impressive. Now we'll go on and tell the history of the Class 29. The Class 29s were originally known as the Class 21s, built between 1958 to 1960 with a total of 58 locomotives built. From 1963, 1965 and 1967, 20 locomotives were rebuilt into Class 29s. The Class 21 proved unreliable due to their man-power units, built under license in the UK. To resolve this problem, BR chose to rebuild 20 members of the class with the high-speed Paxton Velocity engine. The Class 29s were immediately more reliable than the previous Class 21s, and the locomotives were put to work throughout the Scottish Lowlands on secondary passenger and light freight duties. The Class 29s could be also seen on the famous West Highland line between Glasgow, Osborne, Fort William, Margate, and as far as North Inverness. They continued until 1969, and their withdrawals began and continued until 1971, with some members of the class barely 10 years old before being scrapped. Now it's time to take this locomotive down to the track and see what it can do. Here we are at the track with the Hornby Class 29, ready to show us what it's made of. For this running session, I've decided to just go with a random diesel running session. So, running with the Class 29 today, we have these ex-Great Western coaches. And on the second line, we have this Airfix Class 31 with these siphon wagons. And on the third line, we have this Hornby Class 25 with these mineral wagons. Now it's time to let these lovely locomotives show us what they're made of. Another beautiful running session comes to a close. My final thoughts on this Hornby Class 29. Smooth, beautiful runner, excellent details considering that it's over 40 years old, and is a great bargain for beginner modelers or who goes off a budget. It's an excellent addition to anyone's collection who likes early diesels, and it is perfect for me, and it's been an excellent runner since I've had it. That concludes my review of the Hornby Class 29. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to the Lone Ranger Motoring channel. If you have any ideas for the future, please mention them in the comment section. As long as they are feasible, please mention them, because we always are reading them and answering back on the comments. Until the next time, see ya.